So welcome to another thing about tartan, and tonight I am so pleased to welcome Kyle Dawson all the way from New York, virtually of course, to tell us his story. Kyle is president of the National Tartan Day New York Committee and treasurer of the New York Caledonian Club, so he's a busy man. He's also a self-taught bagpiper and part of Team No Sleep. More on that shortly. He makes Tartan Week great fun from start to finish, and I, for one, can't wait to delve into Kyle's story. Hi, Kyle. Good to welcome you on. Now, we have to admit that this is attempt 2 because I forgot to press record. So thank you for your patience with my technical ineptitude.
No, not at all. Thank you for having me.
Welcome all the way from New York, and you in your backyard there, you said, which looks very nice in the shady.
Yeah, it's not hot right now, so nice and cool morning.
Cool morning in New York, very good. So tell us then, how is New York, and how, from the news from our side of the pond, it looks like you're on the road to recovery. Are things getting back to normal?
Yeah, things are starting to come back. We're, I would say, 60%, not really a full back into normal New York mode yet. There is traffic in the city again, so that makes it feel like it's back to normal. But outdoor drinking, outdoor eating for bars and restaurants, there's no indoor eating or drinking yet. Schools aren't going to open, I don't think, in September, but things are starting to get back. And large scale events are still canceled throughout the year, so we won't have any events happening here.
Missing out on all the bagpiping then. Are you still bagpiping?
I was piping every night at 7:00 for the 7:00 cheer, and that's probably the most I've played my bagpipes in the past 3 years.
Yeah, good. Get some practice. So tell us then, how did you come to be in New York? Are you a born and bred New Yorker or from elsewhere?
Nope, I was born in New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey for 42 years of my life, and moved into New York City 5 years ago. A little over 5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What brought you into the city then? Work or just?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in New York. I've worked in New York City since 2000, and I've always loved New York City. So.
Yeah, I have to say I loved it too. That was my very first time when we came over for Tartan Day.
Wow.
Last year, so yeah, I'd left it a while, but no, amazing city, totally different to anywhere I'd ever been. So
yeah, it's a different world. You can get anything you want in New York City, and you can literally get any kind of food you want delivered at like any time of day.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to admit, I did love the food side of things. But even all the lovely little delis and just all the freshly made things.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. And also the amount of ice cream trucks on the corners. I'm a big fan of ice cream. So yeah, I was enjoying that. So what do you love then the most about being in New York?
Just the convenience of everything. Like everything is. I mean, I live on the Upper East Side, and people ask me all the time, like, why haven't you gone down here? Why aren't you down this side of New York? And I'm like, I can get anything that I need, anything that I want within a 5-block radius.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like any kind of food you can think of.
Mm.
It's here. Like if I want sushi, I have 5 different options within a 5-block radius of sushi. Yeah. And they're all different. They all do different stuff.
Yeah. I have to go 5 miles for a pint of milk.
Right. Yeah. I can walk out my door and grab a pint of milk.
There's advantages of both.
Yeah.
It's been good for isolation when I've needed to be in isolation. Now we were okay.
Yeah, here not so much isolation. It's difficult in New York City, but you have small apartments. I mean, our apartment is probably 700 square feet. It's not very big.
Mm.
But we do have an outdoor space. We have a little backyard, which is rare in New York City to have an outdoor space. So
yeah, no, it's cool. So how did you come then to be president of the New York Tartan Day Committee? And what's it involved? Tell us all about it.
So I got into the National Tartan Day New York Committee through my New York Caledonian Club treasurer work. Leslie Denninger was actually the chief of the Caledonian Club and the representative of the National Tartan Day New York Committee. And she didn't want to do both anymore. So she asked me if I wanted to do the representative from the Caledonian Club on the National Tartan Day New York Committee. So that put me up onto that, and I was treasurer of the Tartan Day Committee for a year. And then the elections happened, and I was elected president. I was the uh, next in line to become president, so I got elected, and now that, yeah.
That's you. So what does it involve then? What obviously if you're in the run up to the big day, then I presume there is millions of things to do. But for example, in between times, like just now, what kind of things do you do on an ongoing basis?
Um, it's constantly trying to find sponsors and new interesting things to bring to Tartan Day and to the events during the week, and uh, organizing the people you have, your volunteers that come in, making sure they have their jobs to do and they get what they need done for you, so that you don't have to do it. It's I have a great team of people, and they're great at what they do, and it's nice to not have to micromanage anybody.
Yeah.
Like I have people that do everything, and they're pretty much on top of it most of the part for what they need to do. If any quick things come up, sometimes things change and they don't know about it, and I need to step in real quick and let them know what's happening, and then they're good.
And so what would you say, what have you brought to it then? What's your kind of
Uh,
touch?
um, what did I bring to it? I don't know. I just brought a lot of, you know, just excitement, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. What did I bring to Tartan Day? um,
Well, I know what I think you bring, that kind of natural, just passion and love of it. That just comes across to me all the time. But
yeah, I mean, I just want everything to be bigger and better. I don't. I'm not interested in like my name being plastered anywhere. It's not about me. It's about Tartan Day, the holiday, and it's about Scots in America and about Scotland, celebrating Scotland's diversity and just passion for everything.
yeah. How do you recruit then? Because you have a Grand Marshal every year, and
Yep.
it was Billy Connolly when we were there last year. So, and then it was supposed to be Brian Cox this year. Will he carry over then to next year, do you
We
think?
have talked to Brian, and if everything goes well with his shooting schedule, he'll still stay on, and he'll be for the 2021 year.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
We
Oh,
haven't.
save.
We basically just took 2020 and put pause on it, and then we'll hit play back in March of 2021, and we'll go forward with how the parade was going to happen. Everything this year, it'll all be the same next year.
Yeah, good. And so, how do you go about recruiting them? Then, do you have a kind of criteria or?
Criteria is you have to have some sort of Scottish blood. You don't really have to be born in Scotland, but if your parents or grandparents are born in Scotland, or maybe just your grandmom or what have you, it's you have to have some sort of love for Scotland in order to be our Grand Marshal.
Yeah. Well, you've had some
Yeah,
amazing people along the way. And I think it's really nice you've had so many varied people. Just
yeah,
random
we've had
different.
a lot of different people along the ways, and lots of just great people, like people that are very humble and very happy to do it. And like Katie Dunstall was practically
Yeah.
in tears on the bus that when people were marching up to her. She didn't realize how the parade happened and what it was, and she didn't realize that she would be like everyone would be like basically playing to her, and
Yeah.
it was very overwhelming for her. She had a great time.
Yeah. No, I think I was struck by that as well. It's really, even though you watch videos before you come, or you see clips, or you speak to people, until you're actually there in the middle of it, the atmosphere and just the way it felt like Scotland took over New York, just that.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the city and a major, major area. And you think, oh, wow, I just couldn't believe that we could be allowed to take over as we did.
Yeah, it's nice to see the blue and white going down the avenue.
Yeah, that was
All the
good.
waving flags and
Yeah. Well, and then the locals just come out and participate. That it's
yeah,
yeah, it's not an isolated event. So
yeah.
so you're famous for being part of Team No Sleep. And I interviewed Lorraine. It was Lorraine who was talking about that in her interview, and for enjoying the party. So what do you think makes it so special? You know, why is it so?
There's not very many of us, but the group of us that do it, it's a matter. It's pretty much uh, we don't sleep really. We're always out, always ready to go, always, even during Tartan week is, we're out till 3, 4 in the morning partying with everybody and having a great time. And then we're up early the next day, like 6, 7 a.m. to go out and take care of other things with planning. Like my weeks, like Friday, the Kaylee, is over at 11, but then we do the after party from the Kaylee over at the Taylor, and we're there till 3, 4 o'clock. And then we're back, and I have to be up at 5 a.m. to be over at Fox and Friends to be for their morning segment. So I get a half hour's quick nap, and then out I go, and I'm up all day Saturday for the parade and the post parade party, and then the post parade party, and home at 4 again. And I'm up again early on Sunday and off to the Taylor for the brunch, and that starts at 10. So it's very little sleep in Tartan Week.
But worth it. Worth
Oh,
it.
very worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I think, and we definitely appreciated it. And I think that was what was so lovely. We felt so welcome, and it was our first time out, and we had no idea what to expect. And so it was a shame we weren't there this year, because we were ready. We were really ready for the party this year. So by next year, we'll be raring to go.
Yeah, I like to call Tartan Day. So like there's everyone calls the Tartan Day celebrations in New York a celebration of Scots and Scots Americans and what they've done to help build this country. For me, that's like the short story thing. But on the other side of it, I like to call it a family reunion, because when you come in, like, so next time you come in, you'll go out to your local pub on like Wednesday night or Thursday or whatever, the pubs that we all like and everyone goes to, and you'll see all these people that you saw 2 years ago. And it's going to be like hugs and, oh, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. And it's just a big family reunion.
Yeah, no, it's a great atmosphere. So we marched obviously in 2019. We're coming back for 2021. How can people get involved? So people who are listening and think this sounds like an amazing event, I'd like to come along, or I'd like to be part of it. Tell them how can they join in?
It's easy. I mean, anybody can come over to New York and come out and enjoy the parade. If you want to march in the parade, we put a registration link up on our website, nyctartanweek.org. You can register. It's free to march. You don't have to pay anything. It's just come bring yourselves into New York and come and enjoy.
Yeah, and there's loads of other stuff as well, isn't there, when you're here?
Yep. We have a calendar on our website that it gets filled up with all the events happening during the week. And it lists everything from all the organizations, not just but the St. Andrew Society, the New York Caledonian Club, the American Scottish Foundation, Visit Scotland does things, the Scottish government do things, National Trust of Scotland. Like, we list everything. Everything gets listed, so it's a one-stop shop. You can go to the calendar and you can look at it and you can see what's happening from Tuesday of the week all the way through to the following Monday.
Yeah, fun, lots of things to do. But this year, so we did the virtual parade instead, and me and my kids were out on our back road doing our
Love that. That was great.
our parade. So I mean, It worked so well though, didn't it? I mean, the support and the number of videos and things you got in, it was really good, wasn't it? Were you surprised
Yeah,
by how?
I was. I was very surprised. It was a couple nights of wallowing in your sorrows and a bottle of whiskey, and then the thought of virtual parade came up, and I said, "Why not? Let's do it." And that was like a couple weeks prior, and I spoke to a few people, and they were like, "Yeah, we can. Let's do it. We're on." So I put out an announcement, and Rachel from Flings and Things contacted me. She said she wanted to share it and see if she can get a video of some dancers to put together, and she was hoping, maybe get 50 videos or what have you, and she ended up getting 750 videos from people all over the world, like Peru and Uruguay and South Africa and Australia, New Zealand and Czech Republic and Russia, like everywhere. Highland dancers all over the world submitted videos and she ended up being a part of Team No Sleep and spending the entire 3 days not sleeping, trying to edit uh, a video of 750 dancers to put out on the day, which was just amazing.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And it does show what resilient people we are, doesn't it? That you come up with these things. But to have turned it round in such a short time scale, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. And the people over at Scott Week jumped in and got involved, and they started putting up some things, joining in on the virtual Tartan Week, which I was sad for them. They were this was their inaugural year to launch their Scott Week event right after Tartan Week, which was going to be great. I'm going next year, so it's going to be a full 10 days of no sleep next year,
Yeah,
2021. It'll be starting here in New York. They're all coming out here to New York. They're going to do all the events here, and then we're all going to fly back to LA, and we're going to do all the events in LA. And yeah.
No, it'll be good. I'm really looking forward to that. Because when they said they might run it in September, we were like, brilliant, we'll come in September.
Yeah.
And of course, you were thinking, no, this is never going to happen. And
Yeah. Especially how things just got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next year it'll be great though. We'll all be out in California. We'll be here in New York and then California. I think it's going to be a great start to a great tradition coming out to the States. A lot of people from Scotland come to New York, and it's a great event. And I think they can come a little bit later in New York, do like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then jump on a plane, go out to LA and do Thursday, Friday, Saturday out in LA, and then fly home. LA is going to be a fun week.
Yeah, well, I've never been to LA either, so I'm just using this excuse to explore your country.
It's great.
It is. I'm enjoying it. So tell us then about you. Obviously, we're all about tartans. So what tartans do you wear when you're piping? What's your favourite ones, or have you got ones in your family?
I do have some family tartans. So my blood is obviously not. I'm not a pure blood Scot. I wasn't born in Scotland. I was born in New Jersey, and my family, my Scottish side of my family, immigrated here to the United States. They settled in Delaware in the early 1600s. So we were early settlers. So I'm 5 generations removed from Scotland, but still have my mother's father was proud of his Scottish heritage, and our family, the Dawson family, we use Davidson as our tartan. So I have all 3. I have the ancient, the modern, and the weathered Davidson kilts. Then I have also in my bloodline, when you go back through ancestry, I have a Skene. So I have a Skene tartan, which is pretty rare. It's not a common tartan. I like it. It's nice. Yeah, you don't see that very often. And I have I want to get a New York City tartan. That's one of my goals. I know you're wearing it. I love it. It's a gorgeous tartan. The New York City tartan is a beautiful tartan. I'd love to get
your New York kilt then.
Yeah, I'd love to get a New York City tartan kilt and suit. I want the whole thing. I want the jacket, vest, and kilt, and do it all. what else do I have? I have a lot of tweeds. I have tweed kilts, just normal wear stuff. Uh, and then I have band kilts. I actually learned piping through a pipe band in Jersey called St. Brendan the Navigator Pipes and Drums. I wasn't self-taught, but I started at a very late age. I was 40 when I picked up the pipes, so it was already, my fingers are set in their ways, and it's difficult to get them to do what you want them to do with bagpiping. But I'm getting there. It's fun. I enjoy it. I have um, a passion for it. I really love it. It got put on the wayside when I started doing Tartan Day because of busy things, and now that I have more people working, volunteering for Tartan Day, I don't do as much as I was doing. So now I'm picking the pipes up again. I've been competing. I started competing last year out in Ohio, and again up in New Hampshire. And this year was supposed to be the year of my competitions. I was set to do 10 different competitions this year, and everything just like died, and like no competitions going on. So,
And they've not done any of that virtually then?
they have done some, but it's difficult for me because like I live in a small New York City apartment, and to bring out the pipes and practice in the apartment and to film, because they want you to film your competition tune, and which was the virtual competition was good in a way that like people could take 3, 4, 5 takes of their competition and choose the best one that they liked and then send that one in. Where when you actually go to competition, you start playing. That's it. That's your tune. There's no. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Can I play again? That doesn't happen. So in that way, it worked better for people competing. But in other ways, for people like me here in New York, I can't play my pipes 5 different times in my apartment. I have other apartments around me that will be banging on my door to tell me to shut up. And you can't I could have gone to a park to record, but then if you're at a park and you're recording, now you got people coming around and getting in your recording, and then you got outside noises and all that. It was just things didn't work out right. I'm taking the time now. I'm practicing a couple different competition tunes, and I'll be ready for 2021 to go on full speed competing.
And were you inspired to play by things like the parade? Because obviously you came to it late. So were you already playing another instrument, or?
Nope, no, nope. Didn't play any other instruments. I took a little bit of piano when I was 12, but that was it. I didn't really do much of the piano, and I just, I turned 40 and I got the midlife crisis kick in the head to start actually celebrating my Scottish roots and life, and so yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of people come to that later on, isn't it? And you start to, I think you maybe appreciate your family and your heritage when you get older, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I feel like I do a lot more, whereas I just kind of took it for granted that I was Scottish and that's just what I was. Whereas now I feel a lot more proud and passionate about it, I think.
Well, obviously, I mean, you opened up your Scotland shop, your 1 year in your new place this 2 days ago, right? 1 year?
Yeah, that's 3 years, our 3rd year here in the shop in Edinburgh.
Third year, yeah.
Yeah, so 18 years online, which makes me feel a bit old. But 3rd year here in the shop. But
that's brick and mortar. You're good to go.
No, great. It's a lovely shop. It's great. I have actually been in today. We've had a whole problem with the pipe and water everywhere, so I've been in rescuing it today. But it's very much it's our pride and joy, our shop. I think it's lovely. We'll have to show it to you when you're over next.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there a couple of years ago, and things just got screwed up with timing and.
Well, it was a bit magic, wasn't it? As I'm sure they always are. But I think for us, you sell online and you have everything online, and we can see all of our products and what we do all hanging on rails and things. But for us to put it in a shop and actually display it and really see it grouped together, and that it did make it quite different. It does make it feel more real somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. People,
I
think people coming in more apt to buy things if they can feel it. And
I think because that's the thing about our fabric, it's so lovely and it feels so good. And you think wool and you think, oh, it might be a bit scratchy, and then you touch it and you just know the quality of it is amazing.
Yeah.
So, I think, it is. Because I think the whole pandemic thing, and people say, oh, retail will never be the same again. But I just don't think you'll ever get past the fact that people like to see things and touch them. And or I hope that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it is too.
No, I think Edinburgh's a special place. I think people always want Edinburgh. So no. So you love a wee dram then. You mentioned that you drowned your sorrows when you had to cancel Tartan Week. But what's your favourite?
Glenrothes. I'm a big Glenrothes fan. I do have 17 different bottles of scotch in the apartment right now, but Glenrothes is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. And how did you discover that then?
Through the piping community. One of the pipers that I learned piping with, he's been piping for 30 some odd years. He used to bring Glenrothes out to the parades and stuff, and started on that and love it. And
Good. And so over the last few months, your obviously aims and objectives change a little bit. You've had to adapt, but how do you see things? How do you see the parade in full time?
I'm hoping that 2021 comes and everything's okay and the parade comes back and goes on as we always have. I think we have a special group of people that come to the parade and love to march in the parade, and I think that we'll still continue to have them. I'm sure some people may feel differently and may, choose to opt out of being in the large setting for a little while, but I think 2021 will be a good year. I think people will be itching to get out, and people want to get out and want to do things. So I think we'll have a good parade.
Yeah. No,
I mean, we'll have a good parade regardless. It's always a good parade, and it's nice to see more people come out and see it and enjoy it.
And with the likes of the LA Scott Week happening after the parade, do you think your success with the parade, I think it's kind of taken another surge? Is that fair to say? And is that encouraging other events and other things to happen?
Yep. And I love that there's more events popping up around the country to celebrate Tartan Day. I think it should. I think we should have it. And I'm very humbled that Scott Weeks asked me to be on their board. And they've also decided, they don't want to do their celebration in conjunction at the same time as ours, because they want to also celebrate with ours, and they want it to be a follow-up so that it's a continuation leading off of ours, come out to LA and let's do more. I think that's absolutely amazing that they've decided to run it that way.
Yeah, credit to you though. There's a real trend now for exploring your heritage and your history, and I don't know whether that's because we all travel and move around more and end up living all over the world, but do you see that continue? Do you see that you're saying yourself that you discovered you took a new interest when you were 40 in your Scottish roots?
I think as people get older, they start to more things come important to them. It's not that they don't want to celebrate their heritage, whatever that may be. It's just as they get older, things get more important to them, and they turn to their heritage and start to celebrate and realize, being an American is something that's special, but at the same time, celebrating where your family came from is also very important.
Yeah, I think at least now online does facilitate that more, doesn't it? It's easier
Yeah,
to
totally.
look things up
Makes it
and
much easier for you. Yeah.
yeah. And it's always so interesting, all the people we meet here in the shop, and they've come over to Scotland to find where they came from. And yeah, there's some
Yeah.
amazing stories. And I think we've done more of that during lockdown as well, just talking to people and hearing more stories and sharing them on the blog. And it's been good, and we've been enjoying speaking to everyone.
Nice.
So when you come to Scotland then, what do you like doing when you come here? Where do you like to visit? What do you like to do?
Everywhere. I don't, I have, obviously you love Edinburgh. It's old, it's beautiful, it's stunning. I love Glasgow. Glasgow is just like somewhat modern, but mixed with old, and like
Mm.
the passion of the Glaswegians are crazy. They're so much fun to hang out with. But just driving, I love driving around and just getting lost, because the things you see when you drive around in Scotland and get lost is just amazing. It
Mm.
was we drove from Edinburgh to Inverness, and like it took us 6 hours to get there, but because we didn't stay the main road. Like we got on the main road, then we saw an exit, we got off the exit, we tooled around there for 20-30 minutes, and then found the main road again, and then got back on, and like we just kept doing that, getting on and off the main road, so that we can do some exploring and see like what real Scotland is, real outer, the little towns that you don't hear about, you don't see, the little roads, the cottages that are everywhere, just gorgeous,
Yeah.
beautiful countryside.
Yeah, I think you need to hire a car, don't you, when you come to
You
Scotland?
have to. You have to hire a car. You have to go out. You have to venture out and just explore and see the beautiful countrysides. Um, we when we left Inverness, we drove down to Fort William, and we did the same thing driving down to Fort William. And we took the steam train up to Mallaig, which was
Oh,
fun. I mean, that was fantastic. You saw some beautiful countryside doing that. And
yeah.
then the drive from Fort William down to Glasgow for to fly home, we got lost, and it was great. It was fantastic. We actually got to Glencoe, and they had shut the road, so it's like they're like, "Hey, you can't come this way. You got to turn around and go back." I'm like, "What do you mean turn around and go back? I don't know where I'm going." So we turned around, we went back, and we found another road and came up on Castle Stalker, which we would not have seen if
Yeah.
we had kept going down to Glencoe. So we ended up sitting outside the 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 lake there where Castle Stalker is. There's like a little restaurant on the corner. We sat at that restaurant on the outdoors and the nice patio, and had dinner and watched the sunset, which had beautiful, actually, like the lake was so calm, and there was no wind, no movement. It was flat as glass. So the pictures we took of the sunset were like doubled and mirrored in the lake, and just absolutely stunning. And we wouldn't have seen that if we
Yeah.
kept going through to Glencoe. We wouldn't have seen it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's very easy to get lost in Scotland, but actually it's usually quite nice, isn't it? Because you end up somewhere
it's
totally
okay to
random.
get lost in Scotland, because it's beautiful.
Well, I've been following you on Strava as well, so if you're going to be a bike,
Uh,
I mean, that's a great way to see all these random roads in Scotland is on your bike.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I'll be flying my bike over, but
No,
maybe I can rent one when I'm there.
might you might
Do they
need an
rent
electric.
bikes? Can you rent a bike there?
Oh yes. Oh,
Excellent.
definitely, and it's definitely growing. It's much. There's a lot of the area because I'm south of Edinburgh, down in the Scottish borders, and that's real biking country. It's really good for
Nice.
biking. Lots of little back roads and up and down, undulating, and yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Ah,
it's
great. So we'll have to rent a bike and come down to the borders and do a little ride.
definitely. But I think and people on their electric bikes now as well. So if you're in the hillier parts, then you can cheat.
I like the hills.
Ah,
I don't want to do the electric bikes. I like
oh,
the
that's
hills.
good.
The hills give you energy, get you going.
Yeah, good. Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us and for answering all our many questions. and we'll share the link for Tartan Week and let everybody come online and see all the different things that you're going to do. And we really look forward to joining you next year and joining Team No Sleep for the party and, you know, on our pop-up shop and enjoy another week in New York, and then we can head to LA as well.
Great, fantastic, can't wait.
Good. Okay, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Anna.